I was laying here just being with God when I got this message just inspired through me. Sometimes being with God just looks like being outside the park, laying down in the grass, listening to the birds, looking at the trees, looking at the sky, feeling the grass under your skin, and absorbing the life force energy from all of the vibrant vitality around you. Sometimes being with God and listening to God isn't the voices that we hear in our mind, but the sounds that we feel from within our hearts. The frequencies that comes through us, that vibrates through us when we hear the sound of birds cawing and crickets cricketing and things like that. You feel me? It's like God is the living entity that exists within all and everything. And through all and everything, you can find a piece of God. And so it leads me to just saying sometimes just finding stillness is the key. And stillness doesn't look like sitting still. Sometimes it's laying down. Sometimes it's standing still. Sometimes it's leaning against a tree, swinging in a swing, driving in the car, riding on the motorcycle, running, walking, playing the piano. Stillness is a state of being, of state of receptivity. And through that receptivity, we're able to feel and see and experience God in the way that we are experiencing it in. Because we all have a unique connection to God. God is uniquely expressing itself through us and to us in many forms, in many ways, even in many words. Because God is just one of many words that we call this source energy. One thing that we all can understand and agree on, whether if you are religious or not, is that God is something that cannot always just be explained or just be experienced through pleasure, yet can also be experienced through pain. It's when we hold on to our pains that cause us our sufferings. And it's when we dwell too much in pleasure that also leads us to suffering. And so through our journey of liberating ourselves from our suffering, we find God for whatever that means for us, for however that shows up for us. For me, God shows up in the form of animals, in the form of supernatural beings, in the form of love through the individuals that I experience in this plane and in other planes. God shows up through me every time I look up in the mirror. Every time I show love to myself and those around me, God is showing up in my life. Every time I hug a tree, every time that I eat a food, every time that I exercise or I do something that I love, I am experiencing God. I am in a relationship with God. And that relationship is one that has been cultivated even before I stepped foot on this plane, on this earth. And same with you. A practical way to see it is that like the way that your relationship with your mother started even before you came out of your womb. Your mother was already building that bond with you. Our first language isn't words. It's not even thought or emotion. It's feeling. The first thing that we are able to do is feel something. Whether that's a sensation outside or inside of our body, including emotions and thoughts. Thoughts can be felt just as much as they can be heard. Emotions can be heard just as much as they can be seen and felt. Feeling is one of the first gifts that we receive in this physical reality. The sense to feel. And through our other senses, we're capable of communicating what we feel and how we're feeling, or what we're wanting to feel, what we're wanting to project into the realms around us. And so I feel that is the message. I feel that I have shared what I want to share. So thank you for listening to my B Talks.